Yeah, I don't know who gave Hugo Boss free reign to slowly become the best fragrance house in the world because what they just pulled off here deserves to be in the Perfumery Hall of Fame. After decades of being painfully mid and uninspiring, Hugo Boss roared back to life in 2023 with Boss Bottled Elixir and then doubled down in 2024 in the most emphatic way possible with today's star of the show, Boss Bottled Absolu. Words cannot describe how much I've absolutely used and abused this fragrance. In under a year of owning my first bottle of Absolute, I've completely ran through it and had to repurchase it, and it is now the only fragrance in my collection that I have ever repurchased. And for that reason and that reason alone, I now nominate myself as the authority to speak on this fragrance. Listed top notes in this are incense and leather. You have patchouli and myrrh as your heart notes, with cedarwood and divana as your base notes. Now obviously those are just the listed notes, and there's so much more to this fragrance than just those 6 ingredients. So let's talk about those ingredients, how they combine with each other, and the scent that they produce to my nose. Now, straight off the bat, it's pretty obvious that Divana is going to be the star of this particular show. The way that Anik Manado and Susie Laheli have used the Divana notes in this fragrance is absolutely brilliant. It's actually the anchoring notes of this fragrance. It even changes its characteristics completely throughout the life cycle of this fragrance to anchor the fragrance in different ways from the opening through to the dry down. It's ever present from the beginning, and in the opening, it combines with smoky incense and patchouli to create this dry herbal smell that has a green tea accord to it. The way that I understand it is that incense is used to dry out the composition and prevent it from becoming cloying, and I get that same vibe from Boss Bottled Elixir. And then patchouli is used to lay down an herbal base that Divana then picks up and turns into a green tea party. And that was essentially my very first impression of this, that it's basically bottled green tea with herbs and spices added for seasoning. It transitions once in the mid and then becomes a fairly linear affair from the mid to the dry down. But I'm not complaining at all because it's a heavenly scent that you're stuck with for the rest of its life. And that scent is a sweet, creamy toffee apple that's simultaneously sugary sweet but not cloying because the smoky incense won't let it become cloying. And once again, this truly is Divana's show because that's where the sweet and fruity aspect of the mid and dry down seem to come from. At this stage, the green tea party has ended and it's slowly revealing itself as the sweet, creamy toffee apple that simultaneously has enough mystique to remain mysterious and seductive while still maintaining its flirtatious edge that makes you want to sniff more and more of it. It's further balanced out by cedarwood and leather to keep it grounded in masculinity. Now, while it's pretty obvious that these aren't very prominent notes in the scent of the fragrance, they are very prominent notes in the composition of the fragrance. And the very slight transition that it has from here is the additions of sweet resins from cedarwood and something that feels almost vanillic but not explicitly vanilla. You add that to the creamy toffee apple, and that's pretty much the last 2 hours of this fragrance's life. Every single one of the dominant characteristics of this fragrance suggests that this is a cold weather fragrance, including a dense layer of perfume oil that each spray leaves on your skin. But I've owned this fragrance through all 4 seasons now, and it works equally well in high heat as it does in cold weather. Now obviously go with way fewer sprays in summer, but the dryness that the smoky incense creates coupled with the herbal nature of patchouli and divana lets this fragrance work pretty well in all 4 seasons. With all that said though, versatile as it may be, I still much prefer this in the cold weather. I think that's Bottled Absolute's favorite environment. Contrary to popular belief, this is actually a very good office fragrance. Now obviously if you use 20 sprays of any fragrance, you go from co-worker to chemical threat pretty quickly. But if you use the more humane 3 to 6 sprays that you should be using in closed environments anyway, you'll quickly find that this fragrance is a crowd pleaser in any situation that you put it in, including the office. This is by far and some margin my most complimented fragrance in and out of the office, and it also smells unique enough to wear to special events with the utmost confidence that I'm probably the best smelling person in there. Its versatility also extends to which age groups this is appropriate for. I'm 26 and damn near signature scent this fragrance. My dad is 3 decades older than me, and it's still to this day the only fragrance suggestion I have ever given him that he's actually followed through on and got for himself. Got himself a big old 200ml of this magic juice. That's how good it smells. Now, I know at this stage this is probably starting to sound less like a review and more like an absolute glaze fest, but I can't help it. They absolutely nailed every aspect of this, including the performance. Or for my skin, this lives for over 12 plus hours with strong projection for 10 of those 12 hours. There's no caveats, no asterisks to add there, it just goes on and on. After decades of safe perfumery and nothing truly stand out, the House of Hugo Boss has finally made their Hall of Fame contender, and it's no exaggeration whatsoever to call this one of the greatest designer fragrances ever made. A showy fragrance with the substance to boot, it has no clear and obvious weaknesses to pick on. It's a proven crowd pleaser with performance and versatility on its side, unique but not difficult at all to pull off.